All right, hey guys, day 3 here. I know I'm wearing the same outfit. It's actually the night of day 2. I'm doing all of my lessons today. So I am just teaching another lesson, same day. I just finished Each Kindness, so now I'm going into the next story. So we are continuing with character development. I can explain character development. Remember, what is character development? Character development is how the character changes from the beginning of the story to the end of the story as a result of the events that happen in the story. How am I finding character development? I am finding character development by thinking about how they feel at the beginning of the story, then thinking about how they feel at the end of the story, then thinking about what things in the story, what events made that character change, and then I can wrap it all up by answering it in at the beginning, blank felt blank, but at the end they felt blank. He or she changed his or her mind because blank. Now, if we were talking about yesterday's story, we could say, at the beginning, Chloe was rude, but at the end, she felt sad, a little mean. And she changed her mind because she felt guilty about how she was treating Maya and then never got to say sorry or apologize. So today we're going to go into the same thing, and remember, we are good readers, so what good readers do is they think about how characters develop in order to understand the impact that the events in the story have on the characters. We have to comprehend while we're reading, so we have to understand. Today I'm reading a story called Pink and Say, and this story is actually going to be read today and tomorrow, so we will do a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. We are explaining character development, so how does the character develop? So I'm going to read you a little bit. We will not read the whole story today. When Sheldon Russell Curtis told this story to his daughter, Rosa, she kept every word in her heart and was to retell it many times over in her long lifetime. Sheldon had been injured in a fierce battle and was left for dead in a muddy, blood-soaked pasture somewhere in Georgia. He was a mere lad of 15. He lay there for 2 days, by his reckoning, only to slip into unconsciousness and fever. He was rescued from his field by another lad who had also been separated from his company. I will tell it in his own words as nearly as I can. So that kind of tells us what it's going to be about. It's going to be about this guy's journey as he kind of went off to war and fought in a battle. So I'm seeing here that this African-American boy is waving goodbye to his family. And his family's kind of looking down, looking a little bit sad that he's leaving. I watched the sun edge toward the center of the sky above me. I was hurt real bad. For almost a year, I'd been in this man's war. The war between the states. Being just a lad, I was wishing I was home. My leg burned and was angry from the lead bullet that was lodged in it just above my knee. I felt sleepy and everything would go black. Then I'd wake up again. I wanted to go back to our farmhouse in Ohio, and sometimes when I'd fall into one of them strange sleeps, I'd be there with Ma, tasting bacon powder biscuits fresh out of her wood stove. Then I heard a voice. For a moment I thought it was fever dreaming, but then I felt strong hands touch my brow and splash water in my face. So at this point, I'm seeing that he's kind of wounded. Something's happening. So we're going to see how he develops throughout this text. Being here, boy, means you gotta be dead, the voice said as he gave me a drink from his kit. Where you hit? 'Cause if it's a belly hit, I gotta leave you here, he said. I had never seen a man like him so close before. His skin was the color of polished mahogany. He was flying union colors like me, my age maybe. His voice was soothing and his health was good. Hit in the leg, I told him. Not bad if it don't grow green. Can you put weight on it? He asked as he pulled me to my feet. We gotta keep moving. If we stay in one spot, marauders will find us. They're riding dragon, looking for wounded. So if I stop here, I've read the beginning of the story, and I want to identify how the narrator feels in this situation. It's clear that the narrator's very young. He's injured and he is scared. He has no idea what's happening. It said that he's a lad and he's wishing he was home. In the other pages, it said that he kept falling asleep and kind of like blacking out. It was strange sleeps, and he just wishes he was home. And then here it says he was shot in the leg and he can barely put weight on it. So at this point, I'm thinking here that the narrator is young, scared, and injured. So talking about how he feels at the beginning, he is young, scared, and injured. Next thing I remember was collapsing in a heap on the ground and rocking with the pain in my leg. Everything started to go black. Then I remember him pulling me up on his back. I heard him say, "Lord have mercy, child. You as bad off as I am. I'll tote ya. I can't rightly leave you here." I remember being pulled and carried and stumbling. I remember hard branches snapping back in my face and mouths full of dirt as we hit the ground to keep from being seen. I remember slogging through streams, hauling up small bluffs, and belly crawling through dry fields. I remember these things in half sleep like, but I do remember being carried for a powerful long way. So at this point, the character at the beginning, he will learn his name's Pincus eventually. He's very brave. So the first boy, he's injured. So we don't know what his name is yet. He's injured, he's scared, he wants to go home. So we'll say number 1, because I don't know his name. And he is scared and injured. And I just told you that the second character, his name is going to be Pincus. And Pincus is brave and helpful. He is brave and helpful. He picks up the injured boy and he starts carrying him. He says, "We're going to make it out of here and we will figure it out." He carries him a very, very long way. He helps the injured boy by carrying him a long distance through some tough terrain and to safety. So let's see how else it goes. So if we see here, we are showing that he's carrying him and he's kind of climbing up a mountain here. Then fever must have took me good, 'cause I could feel a cool sweat, sweet-smelling quilt next to my face. Soft, gentle, warm hands were stroking my head with a cool, wet rag cloth. "Look at that morning that's coming," a woman's voice said as she spooned oat porridge into me. "Do you, Mama, know what a beautiful baby boy she has?" "Where am I? Is this heaven?" I asked. She tossed her head and laughed. "No, child, Pink has brung you home to me. Don't you remember?" The mahogany child, I thought. "Both you children been on the run for days, and a miracle of God Almighty brung you both here. Yes, indeed, child, a miracle." I remember thinking, could this war have been so close to this lad's home? I couldn't imagine having a war right in his backyard. I looked over and saw him looking out of the wonderlight. "Guess you don't remember much," he said. "I'm Pincus Ali. Fought with the 48th color. Found you after I got lost from my company." "My name is Sheldon Curtis," I said weakly. "This is my mother, sweet Momo Bay," he said as he smiled. So we have Pincus is the African-American soldier. We have Sheldon Curtis, who is kind of like number 1. And then we have Momo Bay, which is the mom. So we now know that we have, I'm going to change this person's name because we know that this is Sheldon. So Sheldon's developing a little bit because at first Sheldon, he was scared and injured. Now I'm thinking Sheldon's confused. So we went to confused. That's my little arrow to show that now Sheldon is confused. I still think Pincus is brave and helpful, though. He brought him to his mother. So let us continue. "Lord, Lord, I never thought I'd see my dear boy again," she said as she hugged him. "I been getting along, though, Pincus. Warm things got left in the big house when the family left. Dry goods, too. The rest I been getting from the woods. There's a freshwater spring still here, some chickens. Even got an old cow out back that still gives." "Then you have been all alone here?" Pincus asked his mother. "Where is everybody?" "Your daddy runned off to fight a month ago. All the hands and their children runned off out of harm's way. But I stayed. I prayed to the Lord every day. My prayers were surely answered because he brought my baby back here to stay, she said as her face beamed. You ain't never gonna leave your mama again, are you, child? She said softly. Pincus looked troubled and didn't answer. I'm going down to the stream and pound those clothes of yours, she said as she readied to leave us. If you hear marauders coming, get for the root cellar. Stay down there till they're gone. That's what I've been doing. Marauders? Here? Pincus said with alarm. They've seen there's nothing here for them, child. Nothing. So at this point, I'm thinking that Pink feels like he wants to get back to fighting as soon as possible because it said after the mom says, you're never leaving me again, it says Pincus looked troubled and didn't answer. So I'm thinking he wants to continue to be brave and helpful in the war, but his mama wants him to stay. As soon as she left, Pincus sank to my bedside. Sheldon boy, he whispered. As soon as you heal up, we gotta get away from here. We are putting Momo Bay in great danger by being here. If they come and find that she's been holding troopers, then his voice trailed off. We gotta get back to our outfits if we can find them. You mean back to war? I asked. I must have gone pale as he went on to say, it's the only way, ain't it? Then he looked at me. Sheldon, you all right? You look bothered, he said as he eased me back. You can call me Say, I said. Everybody in my family calls me Say, not Sheldon. I expect you're my family now. Near enough, Say, near enough, he said as he chuckled the blanket under my feet, chucked the blanket under my feet. You can call me Pink, he said softly as he smiled. So at this point, we have our characters. So Sheldon, we are going to call him Say now, because he said that that's what his family calls him. And Pincus, his family calls him Pink. So at this point, Sheldon, scared and injured, he does not want to go back and fight. He's all done being confused because now he knows where he is. But Pink, he is brave and helpful. But I'm thinking Pink is also a little scared because he does not want his mom to have to be in danger. So today, for your assignment to explain character development, I want you to explain to me, what do you think is going to happen in the story? Do you think they are going to go back and continue fighting? Or do you think that they are going to stay? So you have two choices. They are going to go back and continue fighting. You need to tell me why they are going to go back and continue fighting. Or they are going to stay with Pink's mom. You need to tell me why they're going to stay with Pink's mom. So you can either post this in your Google Classroom if you are one of my students, or you can just leave me a comment on YouTube. All right, guys, remember we explained character development, and we are going to continue to explain character development because good readers think about how characters develop in order to better understand the text that they are reading and the events that the characters have. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow.